This is at a 792% interest rate.
167% interest.
By the end of that loan, you can be paying about 50, 60, 70,000.
So today's topic was recommended from one of you guys in the comments. Please do another video on personal loans, specifically the ones that you could get in like 5 minutes online. I know someone who took out one of these easy personal loans to put money in their savings at a 400% interest rate for 60 months. So I wanted to expand that even more. We're going to start off with the payday loans, move over to the BNPL loans that are so popular right now, and add in the buy here, pay here car lots, because I believe all three of these can be extremely predatory. We also have some comments from you guys from previous videos, so if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with the payday loans and the insane interest rates.
Last year, I had a 500% interest loan. Yes, you absolutely heard that correct. I actually had more than that. I had probably 3 or 4. I'd have to go back and look, but I think that my minimum payments were around $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I had a deficit, but I gotta say the craziest thing is nobody talks about how to get out of a payday loan cycle. It's shameful. I get it. I felt shame of having these as well. Nobody talks about it. Everybody feels alone. So I chose to take one for the team, I guess. I cannot tell you how hard it is, even when you have the income that I have. I make well over 6 figures. It took me almost a whole year to get out of that payday loan cycle. That's insane. I feel like mostly these companies actually prey on people that are in desperate situations and they are desperate to get money. And it's terrible because then you end up in this horrible cycle with these insane interest rates and then you just keep having to get them.
Okay, so before I say anything about what she said in the video, you could go down a rabbit hole with this creator. Her story is pretty insane, like $6,000 a month of minimum payments, incredible amounts of personal loans, a buy now, pay later, even with her apparently having a solid 6-figure job. There were many issues behind this. Gambling was also a big problem as well, but she said that not many people talk about getting out of these loans because honestly, not many people do. Again, she said that she's making well over 6 figures a year, and it still took her an entire year to pay off these types of loans. I would say a majority of the time, if somebody's looking to get a payday loan, it's because they have nowhere else to go, which renders it virtually impossible to get out of the 4, 5, 600% interest rates, and you're just stuck in that cycle forever. But we can look at some of the comments. I paid off 7 Affirm loans today, saved $100 in interest on them, freed up around $150 a month. I have more, but I will be done. 7 buy now, pay later loans. That's crazy. I'm severely struggling with these loans. I don't even know what to do anymore. And we could go a little bit more in depth of why these are so bad.
So here we have your average poverty pimp payday loan operation. Bloodsuckers of the community and lenders of last resort. I truly hope that you never have to go in a place like this, because when you do, it means that you are out of options. It means that you have a low income, you're not able to pay your basic living expenses, which is what most of these loans are used for. It means that you have terrible credit. Maybe you've maxed out a bunch of credit cards already, but worst of all, it means that you have no one to help you get by with just a few $100s. Because the average loan that's taken out from these places is for $375 with $520 of fees. And if you're like, that math is not mathing, you're right. Because these places are set up to be a trap. They're set up so that you keep handing over your paycheck every 2 weeks. 391% interest rate is the nationwide average.
And we're going to see much higher than that average in a second. But if you did read the text on the screen as well, the average payday loan customer takes out 11 loans a year. And that's how it's so easy to get stuck in that cycle. And we have a comment from one of you guys talking about it as well. I was once caught up in the payday loan cycle, truly the lowest point in my life. I'm glad I was able to get out of it, because it could start with a few $100s. It's not like you asked for a $10,000 loan, although that would make things exponentially worse. But all it takes is $300, $400, $500, not being able to pay back the 500% interest rate, then having to take out another loan to pay off the first one, and that happens over and over and over again.
This is at a 792% interest rate. What the possible are you doing?
That one, I really don't remember what that one was for.
You borrowed 500.
Yes, yeah.
What's your total you're paying back? by the end?
I think it was like 15, wasn't it? Or 2,000?
$4,000. $4,000 for $500. Started garnishing your wages from this loan?
Yes.
You gave them access to your account?
Yeah.
You gave them access to your account? This isn't a government. They can't just garnish unless you give access.
So now you are basically screwed. $500 turning into a $4,000 loan, and they have access to your bank account. When any sort of money gets deposited into that account, it will instantly get siphoned away now. I truly didn't know that this was possible. Is that even legal? Unfortunately, it is in certain areas. She'll just be paying the interest for the next 500 years. Here we have a story from one of you guys as well. I took out a payday loan one time back around 1998 when I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. I borrowed $200 and had less than a week to pay back $275, or they would start hitting me with a 250% interest rate. I can't remember exactly why I took it out. Most likely I didn't want to miss a car payment. Either way, I paid it all back the very next day, and no matter how desperate I got for money, I never took out another payday loan again. Now, I know many people are desperate right now, barely surviving with this high cost of living, so this does become the last option for many people, but will probably be the most detrimental. If there's anything you could do to avoid these types of interest rates, we complain on this channel when we see car loans at 15%, credit cards sitting at 20 or 30%, so a 400 or 500% interest rate almost sounds like I'm just making it up. But we could transition to something that you know I love to hate on this channel, that is the buy now, pay later loans, Klarna, Afterpay. There are a million different companies out there right now, and this is what it looks like when you don't pay them back.
All right, I wanted to quickly go over this. This is my Affirm. It's a lot. I owe thousands of dollars on it. This isn't even my credit cards. This is just Affirm. Can't change it. I can just deal with it. And that's what I'm doing. It's a little overwhelming to look at for me. But that bottom one only has $63 left. And that's with interest. If I pay it now or early, I'll save money on that. Same with every other one of these. The more I pay, the more interest I save. So I made a $70 payment on that Classical Center Stage Affirm payment. And now all I have left is $63 on there. We can do this. It might be overwhelming, but we can do it. We're not alone.
I mean, I'm glad he's making payments towards it, but while he pays off the $63 left on that single loan, all the other ones above it are just going to become more expensive because the interest is accruing all the time. And is the reason why I hate on BNPL loans as much as I possibly can on this channel. I know overall it still is the customer's choice. It's not like they held a gun to his head and made him buy all that stuff, but it becomes so much easier when every website you go onto, anything on the internet that you could buy basically, has something under the buy now button saying, oh, buy this in 4 installments or 6 installments. Look, it's a fraction of the price. It's a lot less than you think. With a few taps on the screen, it'll be delivered to you in a few days. You could get the dopamine hit and then do it all over again. And this is the exact result of that. We could look at some of the comments. I use Klarna and limit myself to 1 purchase at a time because I know this would be me too. I mean, if you do have enough discipline, but clearly a ton of people don't, after you pay these off, you need to immediately close your account and never re-download these apps again. I thought this was a savings fund at first, and it's become incredibly normalized to even joke about this now. Here's a couple photos of a trend that a lot of people do on TikTok. Told him I like to use Afterpay sometimes. He said, at least you don't use it a lot, and then a screenshot with $23,000 and 569 transactions from one single company. Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm are my biggest blessings. Afterpay is literally girl math until you realize you have to pay $700 all at once. Legit, it's a setup. Then why would you be using it? I currently owe $3,000 on Affirm, $1,000 on Klarna, and $1,000 in PayPal. There's no way people think it's free money. Afterpay is amazing if you know how to budget. I still think it hinders delayed gratification. If you can't afford it now, but you could barely afford it within the 4 and 6 payments, maybe you should just save up and wait, but that's just not the times we're living in anymore. Everything's now, instant. And along with the news that we've seen that Klarna has lost millions of dollars with people not paying back their loans. Another bit of news came out: buy now, pay later will now factor into your credit score after Klarna reported over 130 million in unpaid customer debt. So people using these apps to dodge their credit tanking compared to using a credit card is not going to work pretty soon. So please just delete the apps. It is not worth it. Another comment from you guys: high interest payday loans have been illegal in Illinois for a year or so. So crazy how many empty buildings that used to be payday loan or title loan stores. They're so dangerous, and I'm glad they're gone. I'm also glad that at least Illinois banned them. I know a lot of places like Nevada, specifically Las Vegas, have them all over the place because of course the casinos and gambling, and you'd be able to make so much money off of people who are desperate. But if you start looking up this stuff online, doesn't matter where on social media, on Google, anything, everybody's tracking your data and selling it to somebody. So you're going to start seeing some pretty odd advertisements.
It could be because of my algorithm, but because I posted some videos about unemployment and door dashing. But I am starting to see a lot of lending companies or short-term loan, lending or credit boosting, etc. Credit cards, applications, credit card, videos, all that kind of stuff. And be careful. They're starting to pop up. Our economy is tanking. Everything is so expensive. And these all have a potential of being predatory. And by that, I mean that they will lend you stuff, but at an increasingly, shockingly high percentage rate.
I feel like everybody's seen something like that. I mean, we have a comment from you guys. I love getting the ads that say, I just got approved for a $4,000 loan. Now I could go on vacation. Funny enough, I got an advertisement that was eerily similar.
Dave, I just got approved for $90.
Wait, how?
I used Credit Genie.
We're getting pizza tonight. Let's go!
Credit Genie is a financial wellness app that allows you to get to $100 whenever you need it.
We're just going to cut that one out. You clearly know what this is, but Credit Genie. Need cash? Get up to $100 with Credit Genie. No credit checks, no late fees, fast deposits. So this is just another one of these short-term high-interest loans. There are so many different companies that are all very similar. I know Chime is another one. I believe they'll give you a certain amount of money before your paycheck hits, and they all end up doing the same thing. I mean, we have another comment from you guys that I bet's happening right now. 90% of YouTube ads are scams. It's pretty ridiculous. So funny enough, when I talk about topics like this, I'll get a bunch of comments saying that the ads that YouTube put on this video are exactly what I'm trying to tell you to stay away from. You really can't make it up. So I bet you guys are watching these exact advertisements from YouTube. Not only that, I'm seeing TikToks from loan brokers basically advertising the same thing so they could get kickbacks and affiliates.
So I just paid off a loan for $1,200, and this was not easy to pay off because the interest rate was really high, but I was able to get the loan in less than 24 hours. So I'm really grateful that I got it, and I got this other loan that I still owe $100 on. It's right here, but just so you guys can believe me that, I'm not bullshitting. This is real, and I love to get business loans online and help others get access to funding as well. So if you know anyone who needs funding quickly to pay their rent or anything, I've been there, done that. So I want to help you do it.
So if this is her job, why does she need to take out loans? I could almost guarantee you those screenshots weren't actually from her. It's just a big advertisement for what she does for a living. I'm a loan broker helping gig workers and small business owners get funding, with of course a link in the description. What makes it worse is the comment section. Can you please help me? It worked. It helped out a lot. Please send the info on the loan. I inboxed you, messaged you. Can you please help me? I need help with a loan. So either all of this is actually genuine and people are getting destroyed by these high interest rate loans that she even said in the video, by the way, or this is an entire racket with bot accounts making it look a lot more legitimate than it actually is, and it's all just her paying somebody to make fake comments all across her videos. Can't really get more predatory than that.
You took out payday loans behind her back 4 times.
Well, the payday loans, they're like taken out of my check automatically. So like most of them I can't go and can't stop
you've signed up for those.
I can't even stop the payments on them. They don't let you skip a payment or pay later, none of them.
$770.60 a month is the minimum payment on that bull. Yeah, it's at a 300% interest rate.
Yeah.
I did not know about these payday loans.
There's like 4 in total.
Taking them out behind your girlfriend's back. That's crazy. Payday loans should be banned. 300% interest rate should be illegal. Payday loans are basically the equivalent of borrowing from the mob. Who in their right mind signs up for these? 300% is illegal in most countries, not the US. And these loans have gotten so bad that I'm seeing TikTok creators making videos in hopes of paying this high interest debt off with purely the views they're getting.
Would you watch a video all the way through to help someone pay off their payday loan? If so, stick around, help a brother out. We are currently on day 3 on trying to pay off a payday loan using all the views from TikTok.
I mean, good luck, man. Hopefully it works out. I've just seen videos and news recently, especially when it comes to the creator fund and people making money off of TikTok, that the monetary side, when it comes to getting views and making money off of that, has basically collapsed over the past few weeks. People are getting tons and tons of views and getting paid virtually nothing. So when it comes to a 100 to 500% interest loan, it's going to be pretty tough to make the money off of views, at least on that social media platform. We have another comment from one of you guys. Something that really made me angry is when my 6-year-old came home from school with Cash Express pens, cups, and coloring pages. They are targeting kids early with brand recognition. That sounds insane to me. Because now I'm thinking about when somebody would go and present something when we were a little kid. I mean, there were tons of those types of assemblies, or somebody would go into your classroom and talk to you for a while. You guys understand what I'm talking about. But if a payday loan company went to talk to what, a bunch of first graders or kindergartners, that sounds absolutely insane. But yeah, brand recognition is so important to these companies, I guess, even when you're talking about predatory loans. But now we could switch over to the buy here pay here dealerships, which are just the car versions of the payday loans, with still the ridiculous interest rates and vehicles that are most likely not in the best shape.
And for the people that don't know, if they tell you that they accept all types of credit, that place does not have your best interest at heart, my boy. I'm going to tell you that right now. If that car costs $20,000, they say they accept bad credit, good credit, all credit, by the end of that loan, you're going to be paying about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. That's a fact. Fix your credit before you go buy anything.
One of the comments, $10,000 for a 2598 Buick LeSabre. And I mean, a lot of people don't believe how crazy this could really get. Maybe it would be a 20 or 30% interest rate, which to me is already insane. But in comparison to the 3-digit interest rates we saw earlier in this video, maybe some people would think that's not that bad. However, we could take a look at one of these loans that is that bad.
167% interest. All right, this story gets more interesting. So this was towed into us as an abandoned vehicle. Now, I opened up the door and sitting on the seat was the title. Extremely odd for the title to be sitting on the seat of an abandoned tow vehicle. So what I'm assuming is that the motor locked up on this thing and the guy just junked it and left it in the street. It does have that super reliable, super powerful 2.7 V6. But the story gets better. Also sitting on the front seat was the loan documents. Now I gotta block out the guy's name, but check these out. Now these are the loan documents. So this is from Title Max. They took out a title loan, meaning they gave the title to the vehicle as collateral. The interest rate was 167%. They only got $1,100, okay? And it cost them basically $3,000 to borrow $1,100. That is absolutely crazy. They really should teach classes in high school about finance, and you should pay attention if you're a kid.
Now, hopefully that's what my channel does for a lot of people out there. I've said many times that I didn't learn personal finance in school. I didn't go to college for it either. Everything that I know was learned from the internet. So hopefully these types of videos help you guys out as well, but we can look at some of the comments. The interest rate would have been forbidden by law in Germany. That interest rate is more criminal than the mafia. How is it even legal? And I thought the 13.5% on my Volvo was bad. We have another comment with a car scam from you guys. When I was younger, a little used car dealership had an Audi A5 that I wanted. I went there, traded my car, and put $1,500 down to drive off with my car payment. They called me 3 days later to tell me I needed to give them another $1,000 or give the car back. I was young, stupid, and wanted the Audi. Instead of returning the car, I paid the $1,000, but later found out it was a scam. Older me is disappointed in younger me. So now we can start getting into a lot of the dealerships and the shady tactics and what they're gonna do, constantly rolling these used cars, repoing them, giving people really bad deals to make as much money as possible. We have a perfect example of a salesman admitting it.
When someone's working a deal with a customer, do not ever, and I mean ever, go talk to that customer, because we had a receptionist today go up to a customer after they signed at the desk ready to go into finance, telling the customer that she was able to lower her payment when trading out of her vehicle with $12,000 of negative equity. And this customer was trading with a lot of negative equity as well, except her payment went up, not down. And then the customer decided not to do the deal and left while waiting for finance. What would you have done as a salesperson if that happened to you?
So basically the receptionist saved that person. It seems like the receptionist was honest with the customer. Who in their right mind is going to roll $12,000 in negative equity into another loan at probably 10 to 12%? She did them a favor. Car salespeople really do get on here and tell the world how shady they are. This is why nobody cares if dealerships go out of business. That receptionist is amazing, saved the customer thousands of dollars. Wow, an ethical employee working at a dealership. Good for her. She's probably too good to work there. Many comments like that. I do remember another one a long time ago we watched with the same guy where somebody was buying a car from them every year for almost a decade, I believe, just constantly rolling the negative equity into the next payment until she didn't get approved by any banks for the loan. These dealerships, these salesmen, whether it's a buy here, pay here lot or the local Jeep dealership, they do not care about you. They just want you to sign on the dotted line so they can get their commission check, no matter how bad the deal is for you overall. I saw a Dateline episode where they investigated the idea of these places, talking about buy here, pay here lots. The Motor Vehicle Administration showed that this Hyundai Sonata changed ownership 15 times in 3 years, and tax records showed the same. The buy here, pay here dealer sold and repoed the same car 15 times and made over $125,000 in profit. And if you think that's absolutely unbelievable, they're not doing that. We got an example right here.
This is a $700 car that's gonna make $300 a month. It's an 05 Honda, runs and drives great. Just getting some things done to it. It's clean on the inside. It's not bad on the outside. Tires are like new. It's got a good motor in it. So that's typically how buy here, pay here works. You get a cheap car like that, your initial investment, then you just start making the money every month passively. It's basically free money because the down payment basically pays for the car. It might be but that's just how the world works.
So when the customer can't do the payment anymore, they'll repo it and sell it to another person. 28% interest rate, Jesus Christ. In-house financing equals no credit check or proof of income. You want lower interest? Better have some credit and income with the laughing emoji. I'll put them in a newer car. It's not even like somebody's trying to expose these dealerships or salesmen. They're recording it themselves and putting it online for the entire world to see. That's amazing. Another comment from you guys, always remember any car that's been repossessed from somebody who couldn't afford the payments also couldn't afford the proper maintenance. You take the chances at buy here, pay here, where most of their stock are repos. I agree with that as well, and we have yet another example of that.
Y'all, I went to buy a car and literally everything went wrong. Tell me why. I'm looking at the car and I'm like, okay. And I noticed he bringing that. Like, what is that? Those are jumper cables, the new edition. So we get to AutoZone, they checking out the car, and tell me why I give out. Like, legitimately, like, it gives out. Like, he up there fixing it, gonna tell me to crank the car up, because I guess he gotta fix the battery. But if I'm gonna buy a car, why is the battery not already charged, fixed, or whatever? So I was like, okay, this car not for me. God would not put me in something that's having troubles already. So I had to try again, and I'm gonna keep y'all updated.
So if you did also see on the dash the check engine light is on, never a good sign there, but this does look very similar to the 05 Honda that was apparently running great. The interior was really good in the last clip, and overall is supposed to be one of the more reliable brands if you're talking about a little bit older of a vehicle. You know, the Toyotas and Hondas are supposed to be really good, and overall they are, but it doesn't mean you won't find absolutely destroyed examples of these cars. Some of the comments here, I'm glad it happened before you bought it at least. That check engine light being on one is an automatic no. Don't buy from buy here, pay here ever. Absolutely not. Don't put $2,000 down for a $2,000 car and make payments. Don't look at a car with 205,000 miles. It's a Honda, but still, if they didn't take care of it, which in this case they probably didn't, then the car is done around that point. Because with proper maintenance, especially with the older Hondas, with a lot less of the tech and electronics that we see in modern day cars, you could definitely keep it going for a while after 200,000. But in this case, if it's dying on the test drive, I mean, it's honestly at the end of its life. Another comment from you guys, you know you're being taken advantage of when the price of the car isn't even visible, but the weekly or monthly payments for a given down payment is visible. And we've definitely seen that before in clips with Joe the Car Plug. Now this is a bait satire account, a Mercedes AMG $0 down, $299 a month for 783 months. Tons of clips like that. We've seen this before, but unfortunately that's a lot of what these buy here, pay here lots will do. Maybe they will have a Mercedes or some sort of luxury car and it doesn't look that bad, and oh, the weekly or monthly price is really low. Overall, it's just going to be a very bad time if you do sign on that dotted line and realize what you got into. Another one from you guys, hearing no credit checks should be a massive red flag. And I wanted to end off this video with a clip that I found from another one of these lots in Gainesville, Georgia, showing all of these fancy, clean looking cars. I don't have the audio on for this one, but it's not even in English. It's in Spanish. So you clearly know the demographic of who they're trying to get to buy these vehicles. Someone who possibly just moved here, does not speak English at all, makes it much more difficult to live and communicate, but this person is going to try to gain your trust, get you in a nice vehicle, maybe even have some incentives, but overall is not going to end well for you. Financing available, no credit check, buy here, pay here, 1 year, 0 interest with English and Spanish. I don't know about you, but that screams incredibly predatory to me. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.